Live from WSLS, this is 10 News Virginia Today at 6, working for you.
Told to stay home, the local students taking classes from home after one of the biggest increases of COVID in Virginia.
The Commonwealth Clash now postponed.
We informed our team this morning at 8 a.m. that we would not be able to play safely against UVA.
Virginia Tech and UVA are delaying their season opener after coronavirus concerns. We'll tell you how Tech is holding students accountable for rising cases.
What's in a name? What the owner of the Washington football team saying about making a change permanent. Good morning and happy Monday to you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We thank you for waking up with us this morning.
We start by tracking the tropics. Chris, there are now 4 named storms that you're watching closely.
Yeah, no, it just continues on its historic pace. But the one that we got to keep an eye on is Tropical Storm Sally, because that's the one that has the most imminent threat to the U.S. You see it getting closer to the Gulf Coast, and it's going to make landfall as a hurricane tomorrow morning near the Louisiana-Mississippi line. But you notice how slowly it moves, but how quickly it weakens as well. So it's going to be a remnant low pressure system before giving us some rain late Thursday and into Friday. Closer to home, a dense fog advisory until 9 a.m. for parts of Grayson and Carroll counties, but also some limited visibility in parts of the Greenbrier Valley and Allegheny Highlands. In the Roanoke Valley, we're warming up into the low to mid 80s by this afternoon. Very nice, with maybe a stray shower or storm up until about 1 or 2 p.m. Things actually start to improve as we head through the rest of the afternoon, but pollen levels stay where they've been over the past few days up until Tuesday and Wednesday. But as the remnants of Sally move through, the one good thing about that is pollen levels come down. I'll show you how much rain we could see and the 2 possible scenarios with Sally coming up in 15 minutes.
Students returning back to school today, though in many cases, classes have already begun. 3 local districts that had been virtual learning so far begin to go back in person today. Appomattox County students in preschool through 5th grade will be learning in person 4 days a week and online Wednesdays. Middle and high schoolers are in person 2 days a week, virtual 3 days a week. Salem City Schools will transition to 100% attendance in grades pre-K through 2nd grade. Grades 3 through 12 will attend in school on Mondays and Thursdays or Tuesdays and Fridays, with virtual learning the other 3 days of the week. And after delaying their opening due to rising cases of COVID-19, Radford City Schools returns to face-to-face hybrid learning today. 50% of students will attend Monday and Thursday, the other half Tuesday and Friday. Virtual learning for all on Wednesday.
A potential increase in COVID-19 cases in the New River Valley Health District. That's causing Montgomery County Public Schools to move to online learning for most students, even though the school year just started last week. Students in grades 4 through 12 will start online learning today. Grades pre-K through 3rd will remain on an in-person schedule. Students are expected to return to in-person learning on the 28th of September. Over the weekend, the Virginia Department of Health added more than 250 new positive cases to Montgomery County's count, bringing the total to nearly 1,350, giving it the highest number of cases in all of Southwest Virginia.
Part of the uptick in cases in Montgomery County comes from students at Virginia Tech, and virus cases on the football team means their season opener with Virginia is now postponed. That was scheduled for this Saturday at Lane Stadium. There's no makeup date set yet for the annual Commonwealth Clash between the 2 rivals. The Hokies also shut down practices for 4 days. Athletics Director Whit Babcock says it was a tough decision, but necessary.
You'll know the ACC has a number of protocols in place to postpone a game, and we certainly met a number of those, if not all of those. It was not meaning we did not meet the minimums all across the board, but essentially it simply came down to our chief medical officer telling us that we should not proceed. It's as simple as that.
The Hokies will now kick off the season in 2 weeks with the home game against NC State. The latest info from Virginia Tech says of the more than 600 students testing positive, more than 200 have come in the last week. Right now, almost 140 are isolating or quarantining on campus.
Virginia Tech says they're continuing to hold students accountable as coronavirus cases continue to rise in Montgomery County. The university has suspended more than 40 students for not following public health guidelines. During a town hall meeting, Vice President of Student Affairs Frank Shushock said a number of those students have been kicked off campus. He believes most students are doing their part to keep themselves and others safe, but he says there are about 5% that continue to be problematic.
It's not just college students, it's every community. Those who choose not to follow public health guidelines are prolonging the pain that we're in.
Shushock says school leaders are having serious conversations with students not following guidelines.
In Rockbridge County, a teacher at Central Elementary Schools tested positive for COVID-19. Superintendent says the health department will contact anyone who may have been exposed. No students, though, were exposed since the teacher is only teaching online classes. School leaders say the school was thoroughly cleaned over the weekend. This is the second teacher to test positive in Rockbridge County. The first was at Fairfield Elementary. We're working for you to keep you up to date on all the COVID-19 cases happening in local schools. Check out a list on WSLS.com.
First Lady Pamela Northam continues her back-to-school tour. You see her there in Natural Bridge, Buena Vista, and Lexington today. Last week, she visited schools in the Roanoke Valley, making socially distant and virtual visits to child care classrooms, family homes, Head Start programs, elementary schools, and other providers that serve the Commonwealth's most vulnerable children and families. The legal fight continues for Virginia's school system after its transgender bathroom ban was ruled unconstitutional last month. A 3-judge panel previously ruled against the Gloucester County School Board, saying Gavin Grimm's constitutional rights were violated when he was required to use the restrooms that corresponded with his biological sex or private bathrooms at his high school. Gloucester's requesting the entire Fourth Circuit to hear the case rather than just the 3-judge panel.
The George Rogers Clark statue on the University of Virginia corner will be leaving Charlottesville. The UVA Board of Visitors voted to take the monument down. Several activist groups and experts say the statue with the title Conqueror of the Northwest glorifies the violence against Native Americans. The Board of Visitors also announced that the statue of Thomas Jefferson in front of the rotunda will have facts of his slave-owning history added, and the Whispering Wall will either undergo a rededication or removal.
The name Washington football team may be here to stay. Majority owner Dan Snyder told the Wall Street Journal there's a chance that name is going to remain permanently. Washington retired the Redskins name and logo in July after Snyder was publicly pressured by several major sponsors and corporations. 10 News reporter Eric Johnson's got highlights from the team's season opener coming up a little later on in sports.
In What's News today at 6:08, Salem City Council holding a public hearing about money from the CARES Act that has to be used to cover expenses related to the pandemic. The city received $2.2 million during the last fiscal year. It will hold a hearing about rolling over the nearly $1.5 million that's unused so far.
The two people running in Virginia's 6th congressional district race will talk about issues important to the region. Incumbent Republican Ben Klein will take on Democrat Nick Betts today at noon during the Harrisonburg-Rockingham Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum. The two will face off at another forum in Roanoke next month.
Virginia TV Classroom returns to Blue Ridge PBS today. Weekdays through October 23rd, educational programming will air, helping students who are learning from home. From 11 to noon, Learn to Grow will focus on instruction from kindergarten through 3rd grade. From noon to 1, Continue to Know will provide instruction for 4th through 7th.
The United Way of Central Virginia kicks off its week of caring with community service projects. Because of social distancing, projects will take place over several days instead of just one. Projects include painting, landscaping, and office work.
Utility disconnections could resume in Danville today. The city extended that date from September 1st to allow people time to make arrangements with the collections office. Customers with past due balances of more than 35 days have received 2 notices with options. There is money available to help with utility bills.
The Fralin Biomedical Research Institute holds a virtual discussion on Black history in Roanoke. They'll talk about successes as well as barriers and destruction of neighborhoods during urban renewal. That discussion begins at noon. We've got registration information for you on WSLS.com.
The Monument Terrace steps in Lynchburg will temporarily close for cleaning. The city expects to reopen them Friday. Coming up on 6:10, there are so many hand sanitizers on the market. How to find the most effective ones.
The new at 6:35, alcohol sales on the rise during the pandemic. The long-term effects to think about.
Plus, the average American will spend $75,000 on smartphones in their lifetime. 3 ways to make them last longer and save you money.
We're starting out with some clouds in the area, temperatures in the 60s and lower 70s for those of us that are heading into the classroom. As we're coming back this afternoon, temperatures in the 80s, nice and warm as we're tracking a front that's moving into the area. The 2 effects it'll have on our weather, and we're tracking Tropical Storm Sally, how much rain we could see from that later this week at 6:17.
WSLS 10 News, the proud winner of the 2020 Emmy Award for Best Newscast. If storms move through your neighborhood and you safely take a photo or video, feel free to share it with us. Open the Weather Authority app, click Pins on the bottom, then click Drop a Pin. You can upload your picture or video here.
6:13 now on Money Monday. The average American will spend more than $75,000 on smartphones in their lifetime. One of these things. Doing 3 simple steps, though, could double your device's lifespan and, in turn, save you a lot of money. After 500 charges, an iPhone's battery will only have 80% of its original capacity. Replacement batteries will add 2 more years of full capacity. Turn your devices off every few days. Keep components dust-free to avoid overheating. And keeping your device within 32 to 95 degrees will help avoid premature battery drain. It's also vital to organize and update your storage.
Over time, they can inundate themselves with log files and just erroneous junk.
Delete apps you haven't used in 6 months. I've been doing this here lately, getting rid of a lot of that stuff. Keep security current and keep your device running smoothly. iPhone users can check their battery's health under the battery in settings.
Using hand sanitizers are a part of our daily routine now, and there are a lot of different types out there. It's important to know which products are safe. When selecting a hand sanitizer, a Mayo Clinic doctor says there are a few things that you'll want to check. First, the type of alcohol it contains. You want to select a hand sanitizer with at least 60 to 70% ethyl alcohol. There are other types of alcohol that you'll actually want to avoid.
You do not want a hand sanitizer that has methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol is a toxin and should not be used.
He says another ingredient to avoid is 1-propanol alcohol, which is also a toxin. Also, check the expiration date. Like most products, hand sanitizers become less effective over time as their alcohol content wanes. Consumers should check the FDA's website to view a list of hand sanitizer products that should not be used.
New this morning, the Roanoke Marine Mud Run is this weekend. It is a favorite for many of us, and this year you can do it in person or virtually. Sounds interesting. 10 News reporter Megan Woods joins us live with how the course will be just as intense, but with less contact. Okay, explain how this works.
Okay, well, for the past 24 years, Ferguson Fitness in Roanoke has designed and put together the Mud Run course, and that's not going to change for the 25th anniversary happening this Saturday. But what will change is the obstacles on that course. Ferguson Fitness owner Anthony Ferguson says that this year they're focusing more on terrain challenges instead of touch points. That means that this Saturday at Green Hill Park in Salem, you won't find ropes or walls like past years. There will be sanitizing stations throughout the race course.
Racers will not be sharing obstacles like a sandbag, for example, or they won't be all jumping over the same wall or something. We've removed obstacles that, would be potential problems to sanitize.
Racers will also be released in smaller groups, and the 3 races, the 5K, Kids Challenge, and Adult Obstacle Course, are scheduled much further apart. You can register until race day. Check WSLS.com later this morning for details. Now, the virtual runners, they still have to earn their medal and T-shirt just like everyone else. Coming up in the next half hour, we tell you how they make sure it's just as intense and the great cause your registration goes to. Live in the newsroom, Megan Woods, 10 News, working for you.
Your local weather authority, always watching and tracking for you from the JES Weather Center.
Not a lot of mud out there this morning, but some fog for sure. It's getting dense at times in parts of the Allegheny Highlands, parts of Bath and Rockbridge counties, and also as you head into parts of the Greenbrier Valley. So something to keep an eye on here for the next 2 or 3 hours. Otherwise, starting out with some clouds. So if the kids need a break from their virtual classes, especially around lunchtime, maybe a stray shower. Temperatures 75 to 80 degrees. This afternoon, more sunshine breaking out and temperatures in the low to mid 80s, kind of similar to what we had yesterday, temperature-wise. But we're tracking a front moving through, and notice that it's going to be near into the south of US 460 this afternoon. That's going to be our chance for just some spotty showers. Most of us do, in fact, stay dry as drier air starts to come in from the north. That sets us up with a gorgeous Monday night and Tuesday. High pressure is going to be to our north, blowing in some of that cooler air and drier air, so some lower humidity for us. But for today, the NRV upper 70s and lower 80s, similar for the Highlands. We're in the low to mid 80s elsewhere. Roanoke at 84, Lynchburg and Southside at about 85. But as the drier air starts to settle in, check this out. In the New River Valley and Lynchburg, 56. The Highlands and Roanoke Valley, mid to upper 50s, and in Southside, settling near 60 degrees. We'll keep that drier air around Wednesday, but then things start to change once again Thursday and Friday as we track Tropical Storm Sally, which is strengthening a little bit as it gets closer to the coast and forecast to make landfall near New Orleans or Biloxi, Mississippi by tomorrow morning. Check out all the rain they're getting. This is a slow-moving storm, but it is going to weaken very quickly as it moves farther inland and gives us the chance for rain late Thursday into Friday. Farther north it comes, the more rain we see. Farther south it goes, the less rain we see. So as of right now, the chance for 1 inch of rain or more is going to be near into the south of US 460. But as the track changes, we'll let you know about it on your local Weather Authority app. Your extended forecast showing today again in the 80s for the Roanoke Valley, 70s the next 2 days with lower humidity. So it's going to feel a lot nicer than we felt on Saturday as we wake up each morning with temperatures in the 50s. Thursday and Friday we'll be tracking the remnants of Sally, but that's going to move quickly through the area. And once it does so, Saturday and Sunday much cooler, a real authentic taste of fall air. Temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s this weekend with more sunshine, but we're cooler at night. And for the Lynchburg area, temperatures in the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday with more rain coming in with the remnants of Sally. And just like the Roanoke Valley, we cool down with more sun for the weekend. It's 6:20. Let's get some drive times for you this morning.
And as we look, I-77, Max Meadows to the North Carolina border, a 28-minute drive for you this morning. 221, your drive from Bent Mountain to Floyd on time at 26 minutes.
This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar. J.Crew is officially out of bankruptcy. The company is saying it is now well positioned for long-term growth. The retailer, known for its preppy style, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in May. It equitized more than $1.6 billion of debt with Anchorage Capital Group, which is now its majority owner. And mega popular at-home fitness company Peloton reporting strong fourth quarter earnings after sales jumped a whopping 172%. It marks the first time Peloton has posted a quarterly profit. The company's paid digital subscriptions also growing 210% to nearly $317,000 at the end of the fourth quarter. Well, Apple is moving forward with plans to bundle its services into one subscription. According to reports, Apple One is coming to iPhones. It will offer customers discounts on services like Apple Music and Apple TV+. More expensive tiers are expected to be added to the plan, like Apple Arcade and Apple Plus News. And that's your Cheddar Business and Tech Update. I'm Kristen Schiller from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
Still ahead, the president wakes up on the East Coast this morning, the disaster area he's expected to look at.
But up next, an update to last week's Feel Good Friday. After doing so much for people in his community, a worthy man gets a hand during his time of need.
We've got a follow-up for you this morning to my Feel Good Friday story. Giles County first responders raised more than $20,000 for one of their own this weekend, all with a hot dog fundraiser. The line for the Giles Life Saving and Rescue Squad's hot dog stretched from Pembroke's Firehouse onto Route 460. All of the money went to Rodney Freeman. He is a 38-year veteran of the squad who lost his home in a fire last month. Freeman says he is humbled by how many people in Giles County showed up just to help him.
It's going to help a whole lot to buy stuff, to furnish another home and personal stuff like that. Yes. I mean, it's going to save me a lot of headache. It really is.
Such a good man. It's so good to see so many people come out. They sold out in just an hour. The rescue squad had already raised $20,000 for Freeman in the weeks after the fire, which means in total he's received more than $40,000 to find a new home, and he certainly deserves it. If you'd like to help, we've got a link online at WSLS.com.
Great to see the community pitching in there. Chris, I see blue on the map. Tell us what that means.
That means a cold front coming on in, and it's going to do a few things for us. Just give us a few stray showers here throughout the day. You notice that in parts of Craig and Botetourt counties. But once it passes off toward the east, it's going to drop our temperatures. It's also going to drop humidity levels by tomorrow. Today, still kind of humid in south side. Temperatures this afternoon making their way into the low to mid 80s. Prior to that, around lunchtime, you're in the mid to upper 70s with still just a little bit of mugginess out there. But look at Tuesday and Wednesday. In south side, your extended forecast, upper 70s in the day, low to mid 50s by Wednesday morning. But Thursday and Friday, we're tracking the remnants of Sally. I'll show you what that could mean for our weather coming up in the next half hour.
Coming up on 627, still to come this morning, a local small business. It's national television. How a Roanoke fashionista made it to the big time.
What to look for in a jogging stroller. Oh, these things are gold, so you can exercise with the family.
But up next, alcohol flying off the shelves during the pandemic. How much is too much, though? The long-term effects experts say you should think about.
This is 10 News, Virginia Today at 6, working for you.
The investigation continues after a shooting in Roanoke. An update on the victim.
Western states devastated by fire.
I was just paralyzed. I didn't really realize it was happening.
The huge amount of land burned as the president arrives today.
The race for a vaccine becoming more urgent every day.
We have quite a good chance, more than 60%, that we will know if the product works or not by the end of October.
Well, it might take longer for it to get to the public and the decision on who would get vaccinated first. Good Monday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. We hope you had a fantastic weekend. Went by fast, though, right?
It always does, doesn't it? Back around to our Monday morning, and we are feeling quite tropical outside this morning. Let's get over to Chris with an update on your forecast as we head into a brand new work week.
Yeah, so things starting out muggy, but so far so good as we give you a live look from our Virginia Tech sky cam in Blacksburg. Maybe just a stray shower or two. But hey, speaking of tropical, this map, I'm having a hard time fitting everything on the map. Check this out. You got Paulette over Bermuda moving away, Renee dissipating, Teddy just formed, not an immediate threat to the U.S. Tropical Depression 21, that's going to fizzle out over the next few days. It's really Sally that we need to keep an eye on as it gets closer to the Gulf Coast. That's going to make landfall as a hurricane by tomorrow morning and likely going to give us some rain as we head into Thursday night and Friday. But check out just a few showers right now. This is not related to anything tropical, just a couple showers in parts of Craig County, right on the Roanoke-Craig County line, and also as you head toward areas like Buchanan right now. The Highlands looking at temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s this afternoon as we see decreasing clouds, increasing sunshine, and then decreasing humidity as well. That sets us up with a beautiful Tuesday and Wednesday as we track the remnants of Sally coming into the area by Thursday and Friday.
An update on breaking news. Police are still looking for the person who shot and killed someone Friday night. 22-year-old Dante Taylor was shot in Indian Village, not far from Tinker Creek. He was taken to the hospital but died over the weekend. The case is now being investigated as a homicide. No arrests have been made.
Police arrested a man following an early Saturday morning shooting in Roanoke. Both a man and a woman remain in the hospital following the shooting outside First Down Sports Lounge. Police have charged the man you see there on your screen, 51-year-old Ahmad Mubdi, with malicious wounding. So far, there's no word on their conditions.
Wildfires raging in the West have killed at least 33 people, with dozens still missing. Tens of thousands in California, Oregon, and Washington have been forced to flee their homes. The president approved a major disaster declaration for California exactly a month ago, and this morning is expected to meet with local and federal fire and emergency officials at the base for operations in Sacramento. The fires in Oregon have already consumed more than 800,000 acres and forced 500,000 people out of their homes. One of them, 11-year-old Dominic Flukas.
Well, I was feeling sad and scared at the moment because I knew that we were going to most likely lose our home.
Farther north, more than 600,000 acres have burned in Washington state, and to the south, 3.3 million acres and counting in California. An area larger than the state of Connecticut has burned. Today, it could be crucial as the area is expecting cooler temperatures. Coming up this morning on Today, Bob Woodward joins Savannah Guthrie to talk about his new book, Rage. It's about the Trump presidency and will be released tomorrow. You can watch that interview this morning at 7 right here on WSLS 10.
We could soon learn if a COVID-19 vaccine being developed by drug maker Pfizer is effective. The CEO says there's a good chance the company will know if the vaccine works by the end of October. Pfizer has already started manufacturing the vaccine, and hundreds of thousands of doses have already been made.
In our base case, we have quite a good chance, more than 60%, that we will know if the product works or not by the end of October. But of course, doesn't mean that it works. It means that we will know if it works.
When asked whether people would have to wait until 2021 to actually get the vaccine, Pfizer CEO said he didn't know how long it would take for regulators to approve it. As for who gets the vaccine, he says health authorities should decide.
We are buying more alcohol this year, according to data from Nielsen. An addiction researcher at the Mayo Clinic says using alcohol to celebrate or relieve stress is an age-old human trait. But overusing it as a coping mechanism during these difficult times has consequences. Current recommendations for men are no more than 14 drinks per week and no more than 4 drinks per occasion. For women, no more than 7 drinks per week and no more than 3 drinks per occasion. An escalating pattern of drinking may be a potential sign of alcohol abuse.
There's no organ or system which is not impacted by chronic and significant alcohol use. There is a lot of negative impact that long-term significant alcohol use has on brain tissue.
Alcohol-related liver disease is perhaps the most familiar problem. Next time you want to reach for a cold one, consider reaching out to a friend instead.
A Roanoke small business goes on national television today. Diane Speaks of She's International Boutique is one of 20 black-owned businesses out of 200 applicants chosen to showcase their work on QVC and HSN. With pieces from Italy to France, Dubai to Chicago, she literally went international to highlight her love and sense for fashion that's now going far beyond the Star City. You can catch her today on QVC at noon and then again at 9 this evening, then on HSN at 1:55 and 10:55.
We're tracking a front that's moving through the area right now, giving us more clouds than maybe what we saw yesterday evening. But we got a few areas of fog as well in parts of the Allegheny Highlands and also in the Greenbrier Valley so far this morning. Hey, for the New River Valley, looking at a pretty nice day ahead. Just can't rule out a stray shower or two up until about 2 or 3 p.m. High temperatures today in the upper 70s and lower 80s, with humidity levels coming down by the evening.
6:37, don't miss out on the cleanest fun you'll ever have getting dirty. The many ways to celebrate the Marine Mud Run anniversary.
New this morning, if you're looking for a physical challenge and a way to give back, the Roanoke Marine Mud Run's happening this Saturday in person and virtually.
10 News reporter Megan Woods joins us live this morning with how virtual runners can expect to be challenged. Megan, good morning.
Good morning. So Roanoke Marine Corps League and Ferguson Fitness had to get a little creative to give virtual runners still give them a taste of how U.S. Marines train. So whether you're doing this race at home or at the park, just know that they're going to make you sweat. When we spoke to Ferguson Fitness, they were very clear. Virtual runners were going to earn that T-shirt and medal by doing a list of intense exercises on top of the miles to replace the obstacles. Whether you do the race virtually or in person, remember your registration cost goes to Roanoke Valley Toys for Tots and Camp Roanoke. As of right now, with the race just a few days away, registration is still low.
It's going to impact Toys for Tots of what we donate because of that. So if people want to help Toys for Tots, and there's probably going to be more of a demand this year because of the pandemic, people out of work and things of that nature.
This Saturday will mark the 25th annual run. There's 3 races, including a kids course. You can register up to the day of. You just need to get there early. Live in the newsroom, Megan Woods, 10 News, working for you.
Thanks, Megan. Chris, you may be sneezing more today.
Yeah, you know, it's still that time of year where ragweed pollen's getting to us with a level 6.6 out of 12, so hasn't changed that much since the weekend, but will actually lower later this week as we're tracking what's left of Sally. For today, temperatures low to mid 80s across the area. Bedford at 83, Alta Vista at 84, Livingston and Appomattox at 81. And speaking of Sally, we'll be tracking the storm and what it means for us coming up in about 5 minutes.
Wanting to get a workout in with your young ones? Coming up, we'll tell you what to look for in a jogging stroller so you can hit the road.
Kudos to those that have double and triple ones. I have trouble with just my single one. After months of filming her talk show from home, Tamron Hall is back in a studio today. The challenges she faced working from her kitchen every day.
This is 10 News Virginia Today at 6, working for you.
Continuing the conversation after quarantine, all new Tamron Hall shows start today. 10 News anchor Lindsay Ward talked to Tamron about what we can expect this year.
Premiere Week is here for Tamron Hall. The show is starting its 2nd season, and we are joined with the one and only host, Tamron Hall. Tamron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Lindsay. Good to see you.
Absolutely. So what can we expect with this new season as you guys are kicking off?
You know, I think that you will see more conversation. I stumble when you ask me that because I'll tell you, because we've been working from home. It feels like we've never left. I said to my team the other day, it's not a comeback. We never left you. So I don't feel as if this is a restart. It's a continuation of a conversation. We, like you, had to pivot and go inside the home to tape the show for several months. There was a couple of Zoom accounts and a baby. I used my baby monitor as a way to see some of the content they were sending in to me. But now we're back in our studio. We don't have a live audience, but we're live. And we are continuing the conversation, the fun conversations, the tough conversations. But most important for me is that people know that I'm the same Tamron, and where we are is where we will be, which is an authentic and real daily conversation with the people watching at home.
It's kind of interesting that you talk about that, because I was looking at your lineup and you really have a mix of serious guests and then star-studded guests. So who can we expect?
Well, you know, that's the thing about the show, Lindsay, and you know this. When you're doing a talk show, you want people to know that every day it changes, life changes.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to dinner with someone and all they talk about is sports, you'd say, okay, is there anything else you want to talk about? If they only talk about politics, you're like, okay, hey, I'm headed back home. But if you have a layered conversation, that's where the real talk begins. Now, life's a roller coaster, and this show is a roller coaster, so we're going to hold on for the ride.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And if you at home would like to watch Tamron Hall, it airs weekdays at 11 right here on WSLS 10.
Your local weather authority, always watching and tracking for you from the JES Weather Center.
Time, as always, for our picture of the day. We love when you send us pictures locally, and we also love when you go outside of the area and still catch a neat shot. Kara from the Roanoke Valley was in Harrisonburg. Check out the rainbow there as the storm was moving off in the distance, and also the pretty flowers along the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're tracking a front now that's producing just a couple areas of rain, one of which is closer to Carvin's Cove, another closer to Buchanan. This is moving east toward areas like Big Island. Maybe a stray shower or two right on the, well, it looks to be the Wythe and Carroll County line, that moving to the south and east. Other than that, this front is actually going to do us some good. Lexington at 83 this afternoon, Roanoke at 84, Martinsville at 82, lowering humidity, especially as we go later in the day. So grilling out this evening sounds like a great idea, and just getting out anytime tomorrow is a great idea as well, as the front brings in some lower humidity. You notice Roanoke at 75, Lynchburg at 76 tomorrow, and Blacksburg at 73. So a little bit of a taste of fall as we settle into our Tuesday. But still keeping an eye on the tropics. Hurricane Paulette is right over Bermuda, moving away from the U.S., but Sally's going to make landfall as a hurricane tomorrow morning near the Louisiana-Mississippi line. And locally, we'll see some rain from Sally, just kind of depending on the track. So 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible, provided that Sally comes a little bit farther to the north. If it goes farther south, we won't see quite as much rain. So flooding is at least a possibility, not a guarantee for us Thursday and Friday. As far as severe weather, high wind gusts, that looks unlikely because the storm is going to be much weaker over land. But here it is by Friday. Notice we've got a front that's kind of guiding it out to sea. Once that front clears the area, a real authentic taste of fall for the weekend. High temperatures in the 60s and 70s with lows in the 40s and 50s. So some cool, refreshing air for the final weekend of summer. Between that and Sally, I'll be providing you with more frequent updates on my Facebook page. It's Chris Michaels, WSLS 10 News, and on Twitter and Instagram at WSLS_Michaels. For the New River Valley, there's your first taste of fall. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s Tuesday and Wednesday. We're tracking the remnants of Sally Thursday and into Friday. It's going to move a little more quickly for us, but look at the weekend. Upper 60s in the NRV with nighttime lows in the upper 40s. Roanoke Valley, there you have it. Temperatures in the 70s through Wednesday. Maybe not quite as warm Thursday and Fridays. We track the path of Sally, but for the weekend, cooling things down, but with sunshine, with temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s during the day and near 50 at night. We're coming up on 6:50. Let's get one last check of drive times.
And things are looking great out there. Forest to Lynchburg going to be a little bit slower than usual, 21 minutes. Bedford to Roanoke, though, right on time at half an hour.
If you're looking to get out for a walk or jog or a run with the whole family, you may need some special equipment for your little ones.
10 News anchor Brittany McGraw has a look at the ins and outs of jogging strollers.
Experienced road racer Jackie Noblet was excited to get back out pounding the pavement with 3 new running companions.
I think we're getting to the point where I could schedule one loop with one kid and then do kind of a relay race where you take one out and then you put another one in.
If you're ready to give it a try, you'll need a good stroller that's built for jogging.
The reason for using a jogging stroller in fixed wheel mode when you're jogging, you hit a bump or something like that, you want the wheel to be fixed in place so the stroller doesn't veer off or even tip over.
And while the fixed wheel makes it great for running, it can be challenging for everyday use since the stroller is harder to maneuver when you're walking or turning corners. CR says a traditional stroller that can be used for jogging is more versatile. You can put the front wheel in the swivel position for everyday use or lock it straight for jogging.
If you're going to buy a stroller and spend that sort of money, having multiple functionalities is kind of nice.
Consumer Reports' top traditional stroller that can be used for jogging is the Kiko Active 3 Air for $300. Have 2 kids to push? CR recommends the Thule Urban Glide 2 for $730. While that might seem pricey for a stroller, CR says most double running strollers cost $500 and up. If possible, take the stroller for a spin and see how it fits you. The more comfortable you are, the more likely you'll be able to keep up the habit. Brittany McGraw, 10 News, working for you.
Coming up this afternoon on 10 News at noon, an imperfect pair become a perfect match. What makes this young and his pup so special? That story more coming up on 10 News at noon.
A kid and a baby. Can't get better than that. 6:52, 5 things you need to know. Up next. It is 6:55. Here's a look at 5 things you need to know.
3 local school districts that started all virtual begin in-person learning today. Pre-K through 5th in Appomattox County will go in person 4 days a week, middle and high schoolers twice. Pre-K through 2nd in Salem begin 5 days a week in class, while 3rd through 12th attend 2 days a week. And all grades at Radford City Schools return to 2 days a week in person.
Starting today, Montgomery County Public Schools moved to online learning for students in grades 4 through 12 until September 28th, while grades pre-K through 3 will remain in class. Over the weekend, VDH added more than 250 new positive cases to Montgomery County's count, bringing the total to 1,345, giving it the most cases in Southwest Virginia.
Virus cases among the Virginia Tech football team means their season opener with Virginia scheduled for this Saturday at Lane Stadium is now postponed. The university suspended more than 40 students for not following public health guidelines, and a number of those students have been kicked off campus.
Wildfires raging in the west have killed at least 33 people so far, with dozens still missing. Tens of thousands in California, Oregon, and Washington were forced to flee their homes. This morning, President Trump's expected to meet with local and federal fire and emergency officials at the base for operations in Sacramento.
And today, temperatures make their way into the 80s with a couple stray showers around. Most of us actually stay dry. We're in the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday after starting in the 50s each morning. By Thursday and Friday, we track the remnants of Sally, which will likely bring parts of the area some rain before another weekend cool down.
Coming up next on Today, catching up with a multi-talented Kelly Clarkson as the second season of her show begins this afternoon at 4 on WSLS 10.
Here is a live look at Blacksburg from our Virginia Tech Skycam. Have a great day.